What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Hit that like button as you come in. Now, I know I'm late, but I'm also kind of early because I wanted to do this at 6 o'clock my time. But things happen, didn't do what I needed it to do, and the things I was trying to set up did not get set up very well. And I see this shit here is gonna get on my nerves. All right. So, as I get this set up, make sure I can hear it. Boom, there we go. We ready. We ready. Hit that like button as you come in. Hit that like button. Now, just know everything that we got going on is pretty much going on. We have a quick I want to thank News Now Horizon for the battery pack. Make sure I don't go dead when I'm talking to folks because I'm always on the move and all that good stuff. And today, while we're going to have question and answer session, we're also going to have a little story time. So at any time that you guys are ready or available or you feel the urge, hit that like button for one. And then two, Super Chat is available. And the donation links will be in the description. Let me make sure everything is everything. Because I want to make sure you guys are ready for what I got. And also be ready for the pod. Uh-oh, there you go. Hell. What's up? All right. Where am I at? For those that are subscribed to Patreon, the first Patreon exclusive video is up. At least part 1 is up. Part 2 has not been transcribed as of yet. Oh shit, I keep forgetting about that. So, this is what I'm gonna do. Give me a second while I get set up. So if you are not a subscriber to or supporter on Patreon, the Patreon link is in the chat. And as you know, one of my favorite, actually, yes, you can offer me a sandwich with your debit card, but it'll have to be done through PayPal. And I'll put that up in just a second. And let me do this real quick. All right. So today I actually want to do something a little different. Because like I said, I'm going to have a little story time because I'm also going to talk about some of the things that I'm doing with the podcast. Because one of the things that popped up earlier today, Friday, take that back. Friday, I got an opportunity to witness another incident in ATL, Georgia. Now, with the incident that happened in Georgia, it was dealing with a congressman. And the issue with the congressman was he's one of these people that cried wolf. And you guys know how I am when it comes to police brutality, any of the accusations of police. But we also know that when they put out the body cam immediately, it's because they feel they are right. Now, what pissed me off was the fact that this young man who got arrested in May of 2019, He just now had a, I guess, a conclusion to what had transpired from the altercation. And he went on and held a press conference. And in the middle of this fuckery, he spoke about how he was brutalized by the Marietta Police Department. Now, the reason why I spoke on this was simply because when well, I'm gonna actually go back because I know a lot of you guys actually remember me talking about how I hate victims. These people that go out and everything is about them, everything that happened in the world, it's somebody else's fault because they never take responsibility for shit, and then they want somebody else to feel sorry for them. Well, this is one of those cases where he actually elicited. Basically, he created the situation, and then when the situation didn't go his way, he threw a tantrum, and then he was upset by the result from his tantrum. Well, in the aftermath of all this fuckery, he talked about how the police brutalized him, when in fact, nah, they didn't. They should have, because of the way he was acting. Now, you're not going to hear me say that often, but yeah, they should have. For the shit that he did, I was actually surprised that they did not. So, for him to say what he said, it's one of those where he's trying to garner sympathy for something that did not happen to him. And it's one thing I spoke about on the podcast, so it'll be available on tomorrow. Wow. Yeah, you can actually hit me up later and we can talk about that one, because that for me, that's lunch money. Because most of these cats are out here doing stuff where they have no business doing, and they're sitting out here and they're doing stuff just for revenue generation. And I hope you guys had an opportunity to take a look at the video that was just premiered, and basically it was about disorderly conduct. And in the midst of that, it talked about how people, oh, absolutely, videotape every confrontation. And what I might end up start doing is, when I have another channel that I'm going to set up, it's called Supreme Choices. And it's one of the things I'm going to put up and kind of review for myself, because it's a dash cam that's set up for everybody's car. And the great part about it is that it's something that can be turned on and off by your cell phone. You don't have to reach up and do anything to it. And then it's automatically saved to a cloud that cannot be deleted unless they have the actual passwords to it. So this is something that, you know, it's put together because of our honest police department. The situation that you're asking, it's highly unlikely that they'll turn it over, because I'm not sure if you've been watching any of my videos. One of the things I talk about is the fact that they do not turn over video. 76% of all videos that make it to police court cases don't come from police. And I even referenced the Amber Geiger videos all the videos that we saw with Amber Geiger, none of them came from the police. They were people from Facebook. They were people that was in the parking lot. These were the people that was being threatened and harassed by the Dallas police officers that worked with her. So these are the things that was actually shared with the news. These are the things that we were privy to that was not even present in the court case, because no footage of anything that dealt with that made it in. You can try the Freedom of Information Act. However, yeah, they're more than likely not going to turn it over, because, again, 76% of all video does not make it from police officers. However, it's a great way to set that up where you can show why, and I've done a video on that, even steps on what happens after they don't respond. I'm actually going to go deeper into that one, as well as I've got another video on discovery that's coming up. But just remember, I did a step-by-step which part 1 is already up on Patreon, and that one is for $20 donors. So anything above $20, you can actually go in and figure out exactly how to start any case that you have where you are the defendant, whether it's civil or it's criminal. And it makes it a lot easier to go forth and even pro se, because I'm actually going to do a series later where I show you guys how to kind of instruct the person that you have representing you, even if it's a public defender or if it's somebody that you use as a paid attorney. So it's one of those other things, and then later I'll get into self-representation or even other options for choice of counsel. So tonight, PF, what is PF? What does that mean? I don't do well with abbreviations. So, oh, boom, give me that. So, what questions do you guys have for tonight? At the courthouse, they refer to me as Mr. Pro. That's a great name to have, because that's absolutely how it should be. So what questions you guys have for me tonight? What do y'all want to get into? Oh shit, that's not on. What can I expect after making a police complaint? Who are you complaining to? Are you complaining to police about police? That's the question. Are you complaining about a police officer to a police officer? Because one of the things I know a lot of us have issue with is the blue wall. And for those that are familiar with my view of the blue wall and my stance on basically talking to a child, excuse me, talking to a child about a child, yeah, I don't do that. Because if I'm going to complain about the blue wall, how can I go to the blue wall and expect something to change? Because if the police were already policing the police, we wouldn't have the issue that we have right now. So there have been instances where they pretty much exonerated whatever you were complaining about, but they're not going to support anything that causes somebody else to gain. So if there's a violation that you see or have or have experienced, I wouldn't even bother complaining to a police officer. Because just like I talked about, you know, if your brother does something, and I go complain to you about what your brother did, you're probably not going to do anything. But if I go to your parents about what your brother did, there's a better chance that there's going to be some reconciliation from the action. So that's what I deal with. I go straight to the parents. I don't talk to children. All right. I went to the police to make a complaint and they denied my complaint form. Is that illegal? No. Because it's a method to do everything. If you're going to a private business, which a police department is, they do not have to accept anything from you because they owe you nothing until there's a duty to perform. Because you filing a complaint has nothing to do with your well-being. Because if you have an actual complaint, you start setting up for witnesses. You start setting up for the things that are necessary. And then there's recourse because you can go back and find those things. Yeah, nobody gives a shit. Because see, that when I say that, a lot of people, I'm not sure how they take it, but yeah, it doesn't change what the actual effect of it is, because nobody cares about your feelings. I don't remember if you covered private property and yard sales versus township ordinances, or is it supposed to be a contact? Or was I supposed to Yeah, you were supposed to contact me about that. Shoot me an email, and I'll actually put that up. Let me go. Okay. If the states can do what they want when it comes to the feds, can I be denied my expectation to be protected and served? You have no expectation to be protected or served. That's your fault if you do. Because one, I had a long running stance with at the end of most of my videos, I was putting a scene from the Matrix, and the scene was with a young boy. He actually he was bending the spoon whenever Keanu walked into the room, and he hands the spoon to Keanu, and he goes, "Don't try to bend the spoon because that's impossible." When you're thinking about the state and anything that it does, that's the spoon. You're looking for a way to bend state policy. You can't bend policy. That's why I told you can't bend the spoon. That's impossible. What you must realize that there is no spoon, because state has to comply with federal law. If it does not comply with federal law, it's not a policy. That policy does not affect you. So anything that they have is based for your well-being, and most of that means just staying out your way, because they don't owe you a duty to serve. They don't have to be honest to you, and you don't have to participate in anything that they're doing. Those are choices. And the problem is most people don't fight back, and a lot of the people that do fight back have no idea what they're doing. And then those that want to fight back, most of them want to do it for free. Like, it is what it is, because that's why a lot of folks, I get contacted by about at least 10 to 15 folks every day, literally. And I probably pick up 1 or 2 people, maybe 3 people in a week. That's less than 1%, because most of the people want me to work for free. Even though I've said countless times I don't work on contingencies. And I actually have to recant something. I stated that no one had ever offered me anything or paid me anything or sent me anything after they won a verdict. That was actually not true. I had one person, and he made sure he reminded me. So I did have one person out of the many people, and it was actually last year, the end of last year. And it is what it is. Because at the end of the day, I'm trying to fight back, only I'm being harassed. I can't step out of my house without seeing police, and plus they're parked out my house 2 deep on Thursday. Yeah, those are the tactics that I talk about. Anytime you hit a bully in the mouth, you have to expect what's coming back. But the biggest thing is, are you fighting back properly? Because that's the issue that most people I deal with are running into. They're not doing what they're supposed to do in a proper manner. So a lot of the fight is just in vain. And then the intimidation tactics, that's exactly what they are. They don't want you fighting back. They want you to submit like everybody else, so they're looking for a breaking point. So let me see what I got here. Because I might have to start going into this stuff. Y'all ain't got no questions for me, man. I want y'all to have some questions. Some real questions. Something we could talk about. Okay. That's actually one of the mindsets you have to have for the most part. What are you willing to accept? I often ask people that, time and time again. And the sad part about it, what in the hell just happened here? So everything just cut off. Okay, that's what they do. You all right? Can y'all see? Can y'all see me pretty well other than with my hand over shit? Okay, I still got a little bright. Let me turn that a little bit. Look. Turn up. All right. Yeah, that's a little better, hopefully. Yeah, because I think my service is slowing down. Not sure why, but let me see what I can find. Because I saw a couple of things the other day that was kind of interesting. Matter of fact, I had a conversation, and I hope the young man don't mind. I'm not going to say his name. Okay, what can you do at an arraignment when you have been unlawfully arrested and they railroading you? Here's the easy. I did a video that says, do this first if you have a criminal case or a case. That kind of starts with it because that allows you to, one, get the evidence that the accused is supposed to be presenting against you. That's one. And then two, it allows the court to do what they're supposed to do. And if they don't, that means they're putting their asses on the line because you're working in your proper procedure. So it allows you to then hold them liable for not acting in the manner they should act. All right. So if you're having issues, shoot me an email. We can go forward. Because most of the time it's because people aren't set up properly. So the courts do what they want to do because they know you don't know what you are doing. Okay, there was cocaine found on the ground, and the officer told me I was being arrested, and one officer told me I was being detained. They did a search and found cocaine in the bag, and the officer did not write a search. Okay, okay. Zach, I'm coming to you, but absolutely, you can do a Freedom of Information Act request. But when you're doing the request, the records that you are looking for specifically from an officer, you have to be specific as far as the timeline that you're looking for. It can't contain any of their personal information, such as a phone number, their social security number, their address. But what you can get are whatever disciplinary actions that are on record. You can get certain arrest records from a certain time period. And if they don't turn those over, if you've done it properly, there's a recourse for it. And that's one of the things I spoke about. Okay, excuse me. It's actually right above your comment. The email address is right above your comment. And I apologize, people. I have to give him a little drinky drink because for whatever reason, y'all got me all choked up. All right. Because it's greatest now at Yahoo. So that's what I'm actually working with. And can a man have a court surety bond and carry it on them to present in case of... Okay. Absolutely, Pharaoh. Here's the easy. If you know how to use the bond, yes. If you don't, it becomes, again, worthless and a waste of time. Because the easy is to do it the proper way and actually fight them. Because 99.9% of people have no idea how to use the bonds. And we're going to watch the video today. The DUI lawyer said it's either civil case, which pertains to debt, money, blah, 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 but did not mention you need a victim. Because at the end of the day, if there is no victim, there is no case. And it can't be civil because it has to be contractual. And then what contract do you have that deals with alcohol? So again, the things that happen if you're setting up a case and you understand, oh, that's actually, do police officers have insurance if they get sued? Zach, one of the things that I've run into, most counties have some sort of bond on their police officers, which is held at risk management, which is also something that can be requested in your Freedom of Information Act request because you're setting up a lawsuit. Now, not all. Understand that. Not all police officers have an insurance an insurance bond, but there is a bond for them, if that makes sense. And oh, again, I'm glad that popped up. And I want to thank Bruce. My daughter's birthday was Friday. He sent her a nice little gift, little cash donation. She appreciated it. She ate it up. She enjoyed it. She says thank you. And for the couple other folks that sent their donations in, she says she appreciated all donations for her gifts, and thank you. So there's your thank you, because I just got a text from my mom. So all right, here's what I want to talk about today. I knew here's where we get into a little bit of story time, because one of the things that I've been dealing with lately, it seemed that there are a lot of people that follow this channel, and for some reason don't want to watch all my videos. I get it. As right now I'm over 260, blah blah, somewhere in that neighborhood. But I've been doing this for about 2 years, and I've been spoon feeding, giving bits and pieces. And as you guys come in, hit that like button so that way a few other people can actually see this. But those that have the knowledge or have a form of knowledge, what I'm running into is a lot of us are sitting in a point to where we have an idea. And I did a video, I want to say in November, around Thanksgiving, where I spoke about the basics, because it was something that we were taught when we were in elementary school. And it's who, what, when, where, why, and how. 90% of the people that watch, I know for a fact, are looking through law. I know for a fact that most of you guys know the basics of law. And I know for a fact a lot of you have pretty much mastered certain idiosyncrasies of it. And here's the context of what I want to get into, because I was having a conversation with a young man a couple days ago, and I asked him a simple question. And I asked him what was the context of his case. And then he proceeded to tell me what his case was. And then I said, okay, what would you do to beat that? And he goes, oh, I would talk about the right to travel. Many of you actually have heard me say multiple times, I've even written it in the chat, I will never have a conversation about the right to travel. There's no need to. And here's why. So he brings up a case about the right to travel. I appreciate it, because it's generally one of the cases that most people, there is the go-to case. So when he did that, I smiled. It was like a real shit-eating grin on my face, because what most people don't understand is the case that they're reciting has nothing to do with the right to travel. It is a relocation case, and they're using the context of travel in the verse of relocation, because right to travel is pretty much what was available in Old English. at that time, and the context is done in that pretty much verbiage for that time, because the law didn't change it for the most part. So they used the context of right to travel when it was basically a relocation case. But then it goes, okay, I'll give you that. You do have the right to travel. They have the right to stop you. They also have the right to ask you a question. They don't owe you anything. Now, the flip side of that is also it has nothing to do with the context of your case. Because if you have the right to travel, they have the right to stop you. That's not even an argument that you have, because there is no violation. They're allowed to stop you for up to 19 minutes. There is nothing saying you have to participate in their investigation. You have the right to remain silent. You don't even have to give them your ID or your name until they articulate. Cops have a level, and most people don't understand the difference between the ideals of harassment versus the actual law of harassment. Because most people think somebody getting on your nerves is harassment. No, it's not. And what happens is basically most people don't understand that's all they can do is aggravate you, because they're trying to see how weak you are. That's what are you willing to accept? And you're right, it is a game. It's chess, it's not checkers. It's a point of revenue generation. If 95% of people just let them do whatever the hell they want to do, guess what they're going to do? Whatever the hell they want to do, because they know 95% of people are not fighting back. Numbers don't change. And that's a great concept, but we have an adversarial system, and nothing is free. Freedom isn't free. You have soldiers that fight to keep our freedoms. Why aren't we fighting to keep them? That is the whole point of it. So the ideals is, and BX Press. One thing I do constantly say, I've actually said maybe 4 times in 30 minutes, the system is generated and based on revenue, not law. That's why 95% of people that fight back, they win. That's why when you're looking at court cases, they hate these prosecutors hate to go to trial. They hate to go to trial. Why? Because even if you're guilty, 70% of people actually go free. Even if they're guilty, 70% of people go free. And that's just from fighting back. You have to hit the bully in the mouth. Until you do that, and until you do it correctly, the bully's going to keep bullying, because you're accepting what it is that they're bringing to you. And that's all they're doing. Just like I gave the analogy of the snake, and I'm going to give it one more time. A lot of us have opportunities to do things, right? And then we're looking around and we expect something different just by looking. The analogy of the snake is, there was a man, it was freezing cold. He walks out his door, he sees a snake. Snake is frozen. Brings the snake into the house. Warms the snake up, nourishes the snake back to health. Snake is nice and healthy and full, he bites him. The man turns around in shock, goes, "Why you bite me? I helped you." Snake looks at him and says, "You knew I was a snake when you brought me in here." This goes back to the conversation that I had about the police. You have an issue with the blue wall. You have an issue with someone that's a part of the blue wall. You go complain about this person that's a part of the blue wall to the blue wall, and then you expect something. Why is that? What sense does that make? You knew they were snakes. You knew they were corrupt before you even filed it. Absolutely. My mama told me the same thing. I don't talk to nobody. See you in 20 minutes. Because if I'm still sitting here, all us gonna go talk to your parents. Because I'm a grown ass person. I don't talk to children. I talk to adults. So, but understanding when we're talking about things such as the right to travel and we're talking about Fourth Amendment violations, one of the things you have to understand is, yes, you do have that right. The problem is most of us are stopping knowing we have the right. We don't go into the why we have that right. That's where the misconceptions, that's where all the BS comes from. And that's, for the most part, why I have a channel. Is because most people don't go into the why. Why do we have the right to travel? Why do we have the right to not say anything? Why do we have the right to do whatever it is? Why do the police have to have a procedure? Why do they have to articulate? Those are the things I give you, because those are the things that set up their procedures. Because if you know the why, you know what they can and you know what they can't do. That allows you to stay focused on law. Why? Because you know they are not practicing law. And absolutely. And just like I told a young man the other day, I said a lot of times when you're going back and you are doing all these other BS things and they're looking at it, they don't want to see you when you're doing the right thing and you know how to pretty much check them properly. When you're filing the proper motions, when you're asking better questions, when you're not being hostile. Because the one thing that they hate with me is I look like a thug. I don't try to hide it. I don't do all. And then they look at me. I look aggressive. Because I actually told a cop the other day, he was talking about, well, yeah, if I do this, I see you, I'm going to do that. I said, no, you ain't got to do none of that. He go, why? I said, because I'm not going to resist you putting me in cuffs. He goes, why? I said, because I'm too big for it not to be true. He said, what not to be true? Whatever the fuck it is that you put on that paper, I'm too big for it not to be true. I don't look like a smiling person. I don't look happy. I always look like the angry black dude. I look like that. I'm cool with that. But now here's the flip side of that. I said, but when we go to court, I got to tap them pockets. I got to. Because if I'm not doing anything, I'm not going to say that I am. If you're not doing your job properly, then guess what? I need that money back that I gave you, homeboy. We got to have that conversation. And you know what? And that was actually puppies. That's actually true, because they actually deleted that video of him doing that. And absolutely, they are run by shareholders. If you go into a courtroom, they have their corporate seal on the front door before you walk in. So a lot of people don't pay that any attention. That's why you have these courts like traffic court, where they're sitting there and they're doing all this yapping and complaining and yada, 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 yada. And at the end of the day, they're just there to generate revenue, because they're not even courts of record. And if it's not a court of record, what are y'all talking about? What are y'all doing? Who's making a decision about what? There are no records. So why am I paying you? What am I paying you for? And the great misconception, because just like I did in that video, the police officer told him, oh, you can't yell at police officers and then, I'm going to write you a ticket, because that's disorderly. I actually showed you 2 cases that stated otherwise. You can cuss as much as you want. It's not disorderly. So understanding that. Now, the great part is the ability to know how to apply things, not only Terry v. Ohio, but cases that coincide with Terry v. Ohio. Because just like I give you examples of, because actually another part of the conversation he and I had, he goes, well, Delaware v. Prowse states that I don't have to, a police officer can't stop me without probable cause to check my license and registration. I said, you're 100% correct. I said, he also can't get your license because of Nevada v. Hybel v. Nevada. Or do you have to participate in their investigation because of Florida v. Royer? And then because of Terry v. Ohio, he must articulate the actual crime in which they're stopping you. You don't have to say anything. You can sit there, make them do their job. And just like I had the conversation with the police officer, why is it that we hold somebody that makes $8, $9 an hour at a higher standard, such as someone at McDonald's? I got a whole dude that's working fries at a higher standard than a police officer that's making 6 figures. Why can't we ask the police officers to do their job properly? Why is that a problem? Because if I ask the police officer to do their job properly, I'm the problem. If I ask the police officer to do their job properly, I'm a sovereign citizen. If I ask the police officer to do their job properly, oh, I must have went to law school. But I guess the ability to read, write, and comprehend has nothing to do with their their procedures. So these are the things that they don't want to deal with, because it's easier to get revenue from somebody that's scared than it is from somebody than it is a fool with a purpose. And again, you are correct, just like I tell everybody, because most people that tell me things that are going on, I can actually stop in the middle of their story and tell them what was said to them and how it was said to them. And then the amount of people that come back and tell me, wow, they did exactly what you said they were going to do, because the nature of the beast does not change. Only the actors. That's it. All of them have the exact same playbook. Just like I told you, when I got a Harvard Comm Law first year book, the first book they give someone at Harvard Law, I was given a hard copy book, 26 chapters. The first 5 chapters had nothing but law, concrete law, your rights, what do you do with them, how you do it, and all that good stuff. And then 21 chapters on how to circumvent those laws. They spent 4 times as much time on how to circumvent the law than to actually learn what they are and how to apply them. So just think about that. 5 chapters of law, 21 chapters on how to circumvent it. Boom. Here's the great part about that. I did a video. It's the easy video, and this is for you, Zach. Because, see, Zach, you must be new. I appreciate you. Don't forget, y'all can hit that Super Chat, Cash App, Venmo, Zelle. You can shoot that email for Apple Pay, Google Wallet, any of that stuff. I appreciate all that. Because, Zach, you getting ready to get an education tonight. I gave a video. The video was actually, I think it's got maybe 6,000 views or some shit like that. But it's literally called, what in the hell is it now? But it's dealing exactly with the fact that, exactly, you can't get it because, again, you have to be a part of their club to get their license or their membership. But if a police gives you instructions, it is illegal, because a servant cannot give their master instructions. It is a 4th Amendment violation. They can't, they're servants. How in the hell can they tell you what to do? The only time they have any authority is when there is a crime. That's it. They are law enforcement. They have been lying to you, just like I did that video. Literally the video that just went up at 5 o'clock or a couple hours ago. Yeah, a couple hours ago. It literally spoke to something that completely contradicts something that we've been told all our lives. It literally does. But now we know. But here's the trick. We also know the why. That's what I'm teaching you. I am teaching the why. I don't give a shit about what you've been told. I don't give a shit about who told it to you. I'm showing it to you, because The who, what, when, where, why, and how, those were things that was given to us in second and third grade. These are the things that we need to apply to our everyday life. These are the things that we need to keep going in the things that we're doing right now, especially when we're talking about protecting, defending ourselves. Because just like I told a cop a couple weeks back, I'm Mayweather this shit. This is what I do. I don't pretend to just get up and do a YouTube channel. I don't pretend to talk about law. I live this shit. Every day I get up, it's law. It gets on my nerves sometimes because this is all I do. I'm constantly reading. I'm constantly writing. I'm constantly trying to build a business at the same time. I'm in school doing other stuff, trying to learn how to market. But again, at the same time, the other 75% of my day that I'm not dealing with the people I love is law. And it's adding on to the aspects of what I've already done. It's adding on to the aspects of the things that I've already won. And this is part of those where, just like I'm going to bring up Dexter again. I have people like Dexter that say, you know what? Do this. This is what we're doing. This is what he's talking about, blah, 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 whatever. And then I go, yep, let me add on to what Dexter just said. Because it's iron sharpening iron. And that's what we have here. We're having this conversation because I want you guys to ask the questions that need to be answered. Because just because you have a question and you think, okay, well, yeah, whatever it is, what it is, let's get everything together properly. And absolutely, like I said before, I'm going to put up a video on Supreme Choices. I'm going to make sure you guys have an opportunity to get a dashboard camera that goes automatically to the cloud that can be operated through your phone. This way your videos aren't deleted. You don't have to do a whole lot of moving around to use it. And it's in HD and the sound quality is pristine. So these are things that are designed not only to help, but is also to keep you safe. How to know if your local police has been federalized, militarized. If they show up with guns, they've been militarized. Okay. My favorite vid was how and when qualified immunity fails per common law. It is unlawful to attempt to indemnify from harm for knowingly. Yeah, because that's actually a case that I gave you holding supervisors liable. Because if you're going to accept that bullshit, how can you find out if you have a warrant? Call a cop. No, call down to the police station. Are you running? Now, I'm going to give you something, Z. Knowing your rights and being able to apply them are two separate things. Because I asked the cop, because I actually play ball with cops on Saturday. And a lot of them play in the league that I'm in on Sundays. As you can see, my hands are all screwed up and broken fingers and all that stuff. No knuckles. But one of the questions I asked all of them, and it was hilarious because all of them said it in unison. I said, what's the one thing that allows you to know someone doesn't know what you can and can't do? All of them started laughing, and all of them said, I know my rights. He said, when somebody says that, I immediately put them in handcuffs. And it's funny. It is absolutely funny. Because when somebody says, oh, I know my rights, guess what? You don't know your rights because you don't know how to apply them. And that's the trigger. Because if anybody's standing in front of me and they go, I don't care that you 6'4", guess what they care about? That I'm 6'4". I don't care that you 280 pounds. They care about that I'm 280 pounds. Because it's on their mind. You don't have to, you know what was funny? The story of David or Samson, the story of Samson. A lot of people watch these Hollywood ass movies and they always depict Samson as this giant muscular dude. I'm gonna ask the question before I actually get into this. If he's huge, 6'5", 6'6", He's got 20-inch pythons, Hulk Hogan type deal back in the day. 20-inch arms. Are you going to ask him, is he strong? Are you going to ask him where's the strength at? Or are you going to know that because this big bastard is moving stuff, yeah, he should be strong. The reason why everybody asked Samson, where's your strength come from? Because he didn't look like he was strong. That's why you asked. Like, hold on, why are you so goddamn strong? You should know this. Because I've actually had cops, because whenever I speak, cops know, hold on, he ain't a nigga. Because I literally said that in the courtroom. They told me, oh, y'all came in here differently than we expected y'all. I told them, I said, yeah, y'all expect us to come in here as niggas. The problem is being able to speak intelligently, being able to know what it is that they can and can't do, being able to apply their rules to them, that's a problem. They don't expect me to be calm when I'm doing that. They expect me to be the angry black dude. I'll play that role whenever I need to. But for the most part, I don't really give that much of a shit about it. Because at the end of the day, I don't think anybody can beat me. That's my problem. That is absolutely 100% my problem. I don't think anybody can beat me because I know nobody does this shit the way I do it. Okay, if you're stopped, they find warrants but not take you in because no other city comes to get you. Why doesn't that cancel the warrant? They're not, okay, if the warrant is not for the county that you're stopped in, the reason they're not taking you in is not because the other county won't come get you. It's because they will not verify it. The other county will not verify the warrant. Excuse me. Are you an attorney? Hell no. Do you do trials? I have done them. I have not done them in at least 5 years. Excuse me. Great question to ask. Thank you. Of course, exactly. Because once you turn 18, you are considered an adult. In the midst of being considered an adult, what's the one thing you've always been told? Well, you know better because you're grown. You know better because you're grown. The problem is you don't know better because you don't know. Because they don't teach you. This is not something they want you to know. And they know. I'm going to give y'all a story in a minute on that. But the greatest part about this is the fact that I tell people, you are deemed incompetent until you show competence. And the way you show competence in court is to do things according to procedure. That's why I tell people, nobody does this the way I do it. Nobody slays down their tracks the way I do it. Nobody speaks the way I do. This is why my channel is here. Do I expect it to explode? And I don't expect many people to actually want to know this. Because like I said, 90% of the people I deal with want something for free. And a lot of the people that I also deal with know a lot of law. Very few know how to apply it. That's why my channel exists. Because it's here if you want it. But if you don't, it is what it is, because I'm going to keep putting up videos. But oh, appreciate you, Al. You know, I'm gonna give you something else with David and Goliath, because I'm glad you brought that up. David defeated Goliath, and one of the things that, because again, a lot of times I go into the Bible, because one of the things that I talk about is the fact that when I was younger, my father, the way he punished me, and I'm not sure if you guys seen the movie Malcolm X with Spike Lee. One of the things that they had Denzel Washington do is write the Bible. That was one of the things my father had me do. He had me write the Bible, so I'm pretty proficient because I did it multiple times. But one of the things that people forget about is the fact that David picked up 3 smooth stones. He only used one. That was Goliath. The reason why is because when you're doing things, You have to do it with a plan. You have to do it understanding there's going to be repercussion behind it. David understood there was possibly repercussion behind it because he knew, not that he was going to miss, but the fact that Goliath had 2 other brothers. I'm going to say that one more time because that's a lot of times, just like I talk about the police stop. Oh, reasonable suspicion of a crime. Yes, David could defeat Goliath, but you also forgot Goliath was part of the land of the giants, and Goliath had 2 other brothers. David was prepared for the 2 other brothers. He understood what he had to do next, if it ever came to that. So just keep that in mind, and if you want to go, it's a good read. It's a good read. Okay. I'm still learning. I took the oath once and said sacred. Absolutely, because again, I have a lot of police officers that follow, and a lot of former police officers that follow, and a lot of times they contribute a lot of knowledge, because it's not like they're telling anything on their brothers and sisters, but they're speaking on personal experiences, and they actually speak to the fact that the stuff that I'm talking about, they can verify it because they can go look it up. But they can also talk about the simple things of understanding the context of where I'm coming from. Because just like I said in my last live, I don't think anybody is a cop hater. I don't think anybody hates cops. Just because you're in the uniform, I hate a cop. Just like during my trial, or right before my trial, a lot of these bastards call me a sovereign citizen. They call me anti-government. And then when it was time for trial, you didn't hear those words. The funniest part was my oldest child is in the military. I really wouldn't say that's anti-government. 2 of my uncles are police officers. Wouldn't say I'm anti-police. My brother is a police officer. Not anti-police. I want these motherfuckers coming home. My brother-in-law was a police officer. All of this was going on while they were calling me all these crazy names. And I never once came out to defend it because it was stupid. And just like the stupid broad, what's her name? San Fran girl, who's changed her name to Harley Quinn here on YouTube. She's put up a video, and the stupid broad, like I said, I think last week I talked about it. She actually is following me on Reddit. This broad here thinks putting up my divorce, putting up when child support actually came after me, putting up the ticket that I talked about that was like $15, or putting up the fact that I sued somebody for defamation is something to defame me. The problem is I don't give a shit about stupidness. Because the whole thing is, if she has an issue with me, she can come talk to me. We grown people. Because again, like I said, I don't, when I was a child, I did childish things, but when I became a man, I did things that a man does. You can come talk to me. I don't even have a problem with the stupid broad, but you know, if you choose to do all the other extra stuff, it's a means of doing it, because like I said, I'm a confrontational dude. And at the end of the day, confrontation is what I love. That's why I have no knuckles. I'm confrontational. And okay, Z, when you were talking to Zach, and you say, I know attorneys can't win. Now here's the difference. Expensive attorneys win because they don't pay the judges. They don't follow along on the systems. But what they do, they're becoming part of the club. That's why you see things, you hear about these multi-million-dollar law firms. The main people don't even practice law anymore because they wait for the one big hit. Once the big hit happens, there's no need for them to continue because they've gotten what they wanted. No snakes, no matter what occasion. Anti-corruption, Okay, I have no idea what that word is. But anyway, back to, because like I said, the thing is, nobody hates cops. What people hate is bad policing. What they hate are corrupt allowances. Because just like I asked the police officer while I was sitting there with him, one, you don't want to ask a police officer to do his job properly. I get it. But you say we're brothers. Here's the greater part about that. because I was with the basketball team. We called ourselves the Brotherhood. I actually had 2 games today. We had literally an argument on the court where we snatched up, well, I didn't, but there was some players snatching up, and they were teammates. We won both games. We hugged afterwards, because the whole point is, if I am my brother's keeper, if that is my brother, why can I not correct my brother's behavior when it's doing something wrong? Why can't he correct my behavior when I'm doing something wrong? And if I can't do that, do I really love him? Does he really love me? Are we really down for the boys in blue? So why have the wall if you're actually not going to do what you're supposed to be doing? Because here's the thing. I actually stopped calling them Blue Line Strong gang members. I stopped doing that. Because I know gang members, and they hold other gang members accountable. So again, if the Blue Line isn't doing that, how can I associate what they're doing to gang activity when they're not practicing actual gang activity? So, absolutely, duty in official capacity versus acting in private capacity. Dropping names don't work. Exactly. Because nobody cares about the name calling. And I thank you, El, because at the end of the day, it's the other aspects of doing business with people when you don't want to. So, again, I'm enjoying you guys. I'm enjoying this session. The super chat is open if you're learning something or appreciate it, want to help your brother get a sandwich, as Ali says. And actually, yes, gangs do have more integrity, because they understand, excuse me, they understand if you're doing something stupid, excuse me, if you're doing something stupid, you are an absolute liability to us. Not just one of us, all of us. You can jeopardize everything that's going on. And most police officers don't understand that. Most police unions don't want to stop that. And that's why I say, if we're brothers and sisters, why can't you correct my behavior? Why can't I correct your behavior? Because again, your shit is my shit. My shit is your shit. I appreciate you, Z. And I appreciate you too, MF Puppies. Goodness, I don't know what's going on, because it's not even cold out here. It's me. It's not you, it's me. So there's an ebook about 1,300 pages to learn the practice of common law, available free online. You know what? Put that link up if you find it. Yeah, because I normally don't allow that, but yeah, put that link up, because again, that's learning. Get some learning on there. Because the whole point is understanding the why of everything that you're doing. Why are you able to get electricity from the toaster when you plug it into the wall? Why? Because I was actually that dude. Like, okay, why does the car move when I hit the gas? I don't know, but I found out. No, it's not the Kung Fu flu. But yeah, I appreciate you, House of Bowls. Okay, actually, I said that wrong. But I hope you understand. I'm going to just use house. So, all right, I appreciate. Hey, tonight is actually pretty good. But yes, back to what I was saying. The super chat is open. You can hit that if you're learning anything. The Cash App is always welcome. And I don't care if you send $1, $5. I don't care if you send $100. We all good. Just send something, make your boy happy. Like I said, I appreciate everybody that has been donating. If you're learning something, you want to show some appreciation, the links are in the stream. Apple Pay, Venmo, Cash App, whatever it is you need, just let me know. I'll pop it up there and we can keep it rolling. And let me see what else I can come up with, because it was a lot of stuff I had written down that I wanted to talk about. So it's kind of like, you know what? Just in case everybody don't want to ask a question, I'm gonna have something. Okay, boom, boom. Let's go here. Boo-boo. Oh, where we at? Any questions? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? I actually had put it on your comment last night, Blacklist. I'm putting it in here now, but it's greatestnow@yahoo.com. So hit me up because I did see your comment. Okay, good evening. I'm Kathleen. I wish that I could correspond with you. I have not done this since 1990. I was employed by the federal government for actually, Kathleen, I just posted my email. Anything you want to have a conversation about, let's have a conversation about. And Zach, when you sue a police officer in his private capacity, he lost qualified immunity. Absolutely, because once they act outside the realm of federal law or the Constitution, they do not have qualified immunity because it becomes either a willful act or an act of ignorance. Both of those are the reasons they lose qualified immunity. If the police kill you in jail and bring you back to life with an EpiPen, is that illegal? No. The act of understanding, hold on, let me go. The act of understanding that is they're responsible for your well-being while you're in their custody. And the records, you would have to get your medical records, and generally the only time you can get that if you go to an outside facility. If you're taken care of inside the jail, it's a lot more difficult to get the things that you're needing because they will not turn stuff over to you at any time. And Zach, explain losing qualified immunity. I've done probably 6 videos on that, but the easy is anytime they act outside of the Constitution or federal law, it's through an act of willful act, which is 1, or an act of ignorance, which is 2. Those are the only ways they lose qualified immunity. So if they're writing a citation, that is a violation of the Separation of Powers Act. That is the easy. You can then get the citation thrown out, and then you can sue them in their individual capacity because the state cannot authorize them to violate the Constitution of the United States of America. So it's either done through an act of willfulness or an act of ignorance, which is why they have officer discretion. I would just like to tell everyone that the police will inject you with testosterone to make you go bald. Standing up for rights have consequences. Okay, yeah, they do a lot of stuff in jail. I'm not gonna... If you're not engaged in commerce, can you explain why you would file any kind of paperwork in traffic court, and wouldn't that be giving the traffic court jurisdiction? Here's the easy, Bruce. Traffic court doesn't exist. So when you're filing paperwork, it's not for traffic court. You're filing paperwork in traffic court because you're getting it moved to another place because you're going to hold them liable in federal court. But you need a paper trail because you have to do something in a lower court before it's accepted in federal. See, at the beginning of my videos, I use the, what's up, little man? I use the context from law-abiding citizen. Everything that you do has to be calculated because this is chess, not checkers. Everything you do has to have a purpose behind it. Everything that's done, because just like my father used to always tell me, the worst thing in the world is a fool with a purpose. I've been a fool for a long goddamn time. I've had a purpose for a long goddamn time. Is it illegal to kill a police officer for wrongful arrest? Again, it takes context. If they're just wrongfully arresting you, you shoot them? No. No, it is not. You're allowed to resist to a certain extent, but again, it's context. Now, the problem is that, just to give you context of that exact same situation, there was a young man that was lawfully resisting a police officer. His name was Eric Gardner. He lost his life. He then ended up, his family sued for wrongful death. However, they added a 1983 to it. Yeah, it didn't work. And most people have no idea why it did not work. The reason being is because the police officers applied an illegal chokehold. They didn't go after the police officers for their illegal activity. They didn't go after them individually. They went after them as officer blah, blah, blah. Even though the police threw two of those officers under the bus. They didn't do it properly. So they got nothing from it. Anything that you do has a process to it. Everything that you do has to be done with a purpose. Now, I don't believe in taking anybody's life. I've said it before. I'm with the Tupac. I'd rather kill you breathing. Because just like I told the district attorney whenever they did the RICO trial, he refused. And the fucked up thing about the whole situation was he refused to shake my hand. He took the he took the trial personally. He took the trial personally. And when he took the trial personally and wouldn't shake my hand, even though everybody else did, everybody else that was involved shook my hand. Because it was part of their job. They were just doing their job. It is what it was. Okay, I wasn't mad about that. Do your job. I still got to hit that. I got to hit them pockets. So what happened was, I told him, I looked him straight in his eye, and I said, I'm going to take everything you believe you love. Because when I ask everybody what they want to do, I ask them, what is your level of justice? My level of justice is taking everything you believe you love. Because the one thing that people hate is to lose love. That's what hurts them the most. You lose a puppy because you love the puppy, that hurts. You lose a computer that you love, that hurts. That's what I want. I want that feeling. I want to look you in your eye when you lose it. That's what I want. That's who I am. So understanding that. Now, here's the easy. The question on killing a police officer. I wouldn't do it. Why? Because you can kill him breathing in a courtroom. And you can't stop ignorance. Because when you know, again, they are corrupt. You know they're not intelligent. You know they're easily controlled because that's why they're hiring unintelligent people. You know that. It's not a secret. They don't care if you know. Why are you getting upset? Because knowing is half the battle. You know it's correct. You know a snake is a snake. Why are you upset that he's biting you? That's what I want. That's what I don't get. And absolutely, that's the thing. I've probably said that at least 8 times today. I can fight with you. I'm not fighting for you. I can't care more about you than you do. Because that was actually my argument when my grandmother was like, why are you representing yourself at trial? And I looked at her and smiled. I said, because don't nobody love me more than I love me. Nobody believes this shit more than I. How am I going to do something and say I believe it? I'm going to stand on it, and then I give it to somebody else to make a decision for me. No, I'm good. I've been making decisions for me for a long goddamn time. All of them are not correct decisions. All of them are not the best decisions, but they were mine. I'm cool with that. I don't care about the other things that that come after it, because I'm willing to accept the consequences, because yeah, I don't really give a shit like that. And absolutely, conflict of interest. Okay, give me 1 sec. I gotta respond to this text message. So hopefully somebody can hit that cash app. Everybody send $1 so I can get a sandwich. What you up to? Okay, I'm back. All right. So, all right, where am I at? Where am I at? Where am I at? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, why is that not popping up? I don't even like that. Okay. Okay. All right, where are we at? Because I'm doing too much. That's what I'm doing. See, because at some point I'm gonna have this set up. Oh, I appreciate you Uncovered in America, because yeah, it's a little bit of good content. Let me read this question real quick, and thank you, House. I'm gonna go back to conflict of interest real quick. Okay, conflict of interest is the easy, and the reason why I say that is because the judge is being paid by the state, the prosecutor is being paid by the state, and if you have a public defender, they're being paid by the state. So guess who's not being paid by the state? You. But guess who everybody in there works for? You. Understanding how that's supposed to happen and what you're supposed to do with it is on you for the most part. So, okay. Now, here's the thing. And what's up, Taz News Tacoma? Here's one thing, because one of the things that I did, 2008, I worked on Barack Obama's presidential campaign. I did not work on 2012. In 2004, I was heavy in politics. And yeah, their oath is actually, lawyers' oaths are actually to the court, not to their clients. That's why their first duty is to the court. Third is client. The client is third. But what the hell was I talking about? Oh, I worked in politics. Now, I made a choice not to be political, because then once I understood how politics worked, I understood that certain shit just didn't affect me. And then what I did, instead of depending on something else, I created my own. And now I'm recreating that through pretty much digital entertainment. Because whether we go through it or not, or we understand it or not, that's what this was digital entertainment. Because what I'm giving you is my digital art. This is what I'm giving you. This is my contribution to the world. This is something that I'm going to be doing, until the dirt is on top of me. So y'all might catch an episode from the hospital or some shit like that, but just understand, this is what I do. So this is my contribution. Your decision to stay in politics or out of politics should be your own. I don't have a recommendation either way, because what you might have an interest in, I might not. What affects you might not affect me. And the way you view certain things may not be the way I view them. So everybody has a choice to make their own decisions. And yes, I would say I'm a constitutionalist, because at the end of the day, I understand how the Constitution was set up. I understand what it was set up for. And then I understand that I can't give up one, because if I give up one, whether it affects me or not, at the end of the day, giving up one means I'm giving up all, because at some point they're coming for all. So that's where I'm at. So they got my mind that I've been asked to. Okay, so again, thoughts on the act of 1871. I'm not going back to 1871 today. How about we do that next Sunday? Remind me next Sunday, we're going to talk about 1871. Because you just determined to get 1871 in here. All right, any other questions for right now before I go into something else? Anyone? Bueller. And you know what? I'm gonna try to keep it at 3 o'clock. Worst case scenario, I'll upload a video at 5, and then I'll come on. Lawyer instruction. That's a great one, because I actually did that video probably about 3 weeks ago. And that's actually something I'm gonna get into deeper, because the video I did a couple weeks ago was just surface touching. Because everything that you do with no, it'll be mountain time. All the times I give are mountain. If I'm just giving general one time, if I'm giving a one time, it'll be 5 o'clock my time, which is mountain time. I have an insurance company that's proved my claim 30 days after file. 2 years later, the claim has yet to be settled. In the meantime, a law firm has hired to go after the dealership manufacturer. Yeah, you probably gonna be, oh shit, my bad, Blacklist. Yeah, Kathleen. Now, I understand certain aspects of that. I'm more vested in, I would say, criminal law, because that's where I've got the most experience at, because I am as the young lady put it, I'm a career criminal. You know, just fortunately, like 20 years ago, I changed careers. So, anyone here an electrical engineer? What's up, Said? And yes, Said, I will have everything to you tonight, so you can go riding in the morning. And for you guys that don't know, Said Mac has been actually been at least what, March? I believe it was March, April. He's been a viewer for a minute. My last false arrest, I won on dismissal. Told her what the fuck to do, and I won. Could tell the courts were trying to use my appointed counsel. Absolutely, that's what it's for. Because again, they're not for you. And whenever you give them instruction, it has to be done in writing. So there has to be a record every time you have a conversation with them. Because that way you cover your ass, and it becomes those steps that hold them liable. Okay. Gonna do the same here. Use their people to be, absolutely. Absolutely. I served 119 days once and got the law overturned as unconstitutional. That is what's up. See, again, I hate to use the analogy fool with a purpose, but that's exactly what it becomes. You have to have a purpose of what your level of law is, and you have to be a fool about it, because you're going to go through something. And absolutely, email is one of the great records, because even my business partner now, he's actually taught me how to basically use my text messages. Don't talk to anybody. Make them write it down. Because I'm coming. I guess I'm the prince, because he's the damn king of the screenshotting and sending shit back to you. No, you said this. Bow. There you go. So I do that shit often now. And I'm pretty sure the young lady I'm with hates that. Because, yeah, I do it to her more often than anybody else because she's like, yeah, you didn't say that. Yeah, I did. Here you go. Blop, 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 blop. There you go. Oh, I didn't say that. There you did. Blop, 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 blop. There you go. And I'll send her like 15 at one time. Like, here you go. All these are you. No, this is you. You know what I'm saying? So, can you please give a basic general overview of what you need to learn procedurally to sue a cop or a judge in federal court? Okay, Bruce, I ain't got that kind of time. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because just like I tell everybody, the minimum time that's needed for any case is at least bare minimum 100 hours. When you're suing someone, it is the investigatory time that it takes. It's the amount of energy that's used to even build the case. That's why you often hear about cases falling short because they did not build them completely. The actual evidence grabbing is the most time consuming and also also the most expensive, because generally most people are not going to give you what you need. Okay, goddamn, hold on. Can a body cam on you at time carry a body cam? Absolutely. Getting access to law books in jail is unbelievably difficult. Absolutely, because knowledge is a weapon when used properly. The pen is mightier than the sword. Repair shop that look over the vehicles before the single vehicle wheel separation crash. God damn. Kathleen, I actually had a case similar to that one. Earlier, I asked you if you should expect to hear back from a complete complaint and how can I go over there. You file a lawsuit to go over their head, and then 2, they may or may not contact you, because I've actually had some that did contact people back to say fuck you and no, my people didn't do anything wrong, and I actually had a bunch that didn't. Can you receive donations other than via digitally? If you have a bank account, Zelle. Because Zelle, your bank to my bank, and we both good. Which is why video is so critical. Absolutely, because most videos don't come from cops. 76% don't come from police. People's property rights are violated. Absolutely. Can prove the incorporation of America was unconstitutional. Jefferson did so against his will, per Library Code Order of Hamilton. Solid proof of misconduct. First Amendment orders are under attack. Oh, absolutely. Because I think one of the videos I did was, oh my God, it was about auditor another auditor took a case to the Supreme Court about retaliatory arrest. And it's understanding the problem is most people have very little concept of how to go about doing certain things, which is why I said everything that you do should have a purpose. Everything that is done has a procedure behind it. So that's one of the things that go along with it. Now, understanding retaliatory arrest, they still have to have proof if you're fighting it, but you also have to remain focused on what the actual issue is. And that's where a lot of people want to tell their side. I'm actually got a video that I have to edit where I talk directly about that, because at the end of the day, nobody gives a shit about your side. Literally. Matter of fact, let me stop this, because I'm gonna show you this, because bam, y'all see that? Okay. Now, the reason why I did it, and anybody that's doing this, that's going through getting their law together and all that good stuff, understand Microsoft OneNote is a great tool to use. It's what I've been using since, shit, 2009 when it first came out. Like, I've been using it for a minute. But the video I'm doing is called The Rationale of Your Side. Now, I spoke earlier on the accuser is the only one that actually has to present something. When you're talking about a trial, the accuser is the only one that has to show proof of anything. When you're talking about the trial itself, the accuser speaks first, speaks longest, and also speaks last. Most defendants never take the stand. Why? Because the accuser has to have evidence. But most people want to tell their side. I want to tell my side. Nobody gives a fuck about your side. And that's the one thing that, for whatever reason, nobody gets. In a complaint, you want to talk about everything else except law. But then you go on to go, why are they doing this to me? Because they didn't follow law. Because you're trying to tell your side. People write up these affidavits to submit them, to tell their side. Nobody cares. You got 12 jurors that won. They don't understand law. Why? Because you didn't understand law before you started doing what you were doing. So guess what? They don't. You got 12 people that are somewhere there sitting in a cramped room with 12 strangers or 11 other strangers and an alternate with a deputy locked in there. They're not at home. They're not, shoot me an email and I'll tell you where to send it to. Okay, I just shot you the email. But they're sitting in this cramped room. They don't know what you're talking about. They don't care. They don't want to be there. But you're trying to tell them your side. They don't give a shit. The prosecutor they loving the fact that you're trying to tell your side. Because again, I know all of you have heard this. 90% of people don't care that you have a problem. 10% of the people are happy that you got them. 12 jurors, 2 prosecutors. Prosecutors care that you got the problem. There go your 10%. Those are the things that you have to understand. They don't give a shit about the rest of that. They're happy that you got a problem. Those other 12 people that you're trying to convince, when was the last time you ever convinced 12 people of any fucking thing? Never. Because nobody cares. Because everybody that's on this channel, everybody is checking behind everything I fucking say. It's involving citizens in D.C. in law and Article 1 jurisdiction, low courts, Congress, rest nation, Okay, now here's one. I'm actually House. I'm gonna use that what you just put up as an example. Here's the great part about that. These are the things that most people know. They know the Article 1 courts. They understand the administrative courts and blah, 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 right? Do they understand the why of that court? Do they understand the why of traffic court? Do they understand the why of any of the other stuff? Why is legal process violating daily? Because people live in fear and you're being programmed to pay money and they're not designed to fight law. They're designed to generate revenue. 95% of people are cutting a check. Leave me alone. I'm scared. U.S. person status. Most people have no idea how to not be a U.S. person. Just like I tell everybody whenever I'm having a conversation and they'll go, oh, you're black. No, I know what black is. I'm not a crayon. That's one. And then 2, I'm human. Those are the things that most people understand because, again, those are programming issues. If you don't know how to fight it, you don't know how to change it, you don't understand what it is to go for next. And that's where the context that a lot of people fall short on, because that goes back to what I started with. Yes, most people that watch this channel know law. very few have the idea of how to apply it or the context of it. Very few understand the why, which is why the channel exists. Because I'm giving you the why, I'm giving you the application, because I'm telling you not only how to appeal to federal court after you use all your, you don't even have to appeal, you just remove it. Because if you're appealing, you go to appellate court. Like, yeah, it's not really a context. Anything that you're doing is a removal to federal court, or you do it as a countersuit. Absolutely. And this, like I tell people, law is precise. That's why whenever you talk about Terry v. Ohio is a broad Fourth Amendment case. That's why there are so many cases that fall within Terry v. Ohio, which is why you also have the Miranda v. Arizona. There are so many cases that fall under those cases because those are the precedents that were set that established those things, that reinforced things that we already knew. Okay, peeps here can opt out of the system by going through. Okay. As protected, you also get needed. And just like House, again, that's one of the reasons why I stopped helping people. Because most of the people that will look for the quick outs, they don't go through the processes. They don't understand most of the stuff that they're doing. So they're doing things to not actually become better at what they are, but they're looking for ways to get over. That's why the things that you're talking about, I don't talk about. There's no way in the hell I would talk about on YouTube. Because just like I said, even on YouTube, 90% of the people that I deal with want to get over. They want something for nothing. They want it for free. They don't want to compensate for anybody's time. They don't give a shit about nothing that anybody else has got to do. They don't care about anybody. They want you to fight for them, and then they want to complain about it, and even though they're not paying a dime for it. Which is why I don't do it anymore. And again, which is why I don't talk about free shit. You want free? That's what YouTube is for. And go get it yourself. Oh, and L, any money that you paid in Social Security, you still have an option to get. All it is a trust. All right, any other questions? Any questions? Any questions? Okay. All right. Let me go. Trash. And just in case we have the naysayers that say I'm actually joking about all these copyright strikes and demonetization of my videos, I got something to show you guys. Just got this email just about 2 minutes ago. So, boom. There we go. These are the things that I'm talking about. I'm constantly having copyrights, constantly battling with folks about demonetization, blah, 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 blah. Constantly. And you know what? I have no idea what the COPPA crap is because I don't have kids in my video. I cuss too much. So, all right. Absolutely. It looks as though you talked about traffic codes. Is that all you special in? Absolutely not. That's pretty much what so today is a um, question and answer session. And Kathleen, if you actually go to my channel, right now I have over 260 videos that range from traffic to criminal to pretty much. Actually, I think I only touched on a couple of civil things such as defamation or stuff like that. But no, I talk about it. I have a plethora of things that I speak on. Now, here's the thing. Yes, my channel has always been labeled as adult. And that's why I do not watch. I actually watch it for content. I'm not even gonna lie. So, because a lot of times what they're doing is programming. That's what live PD is programming. So if you're taking something that's actually live and you're showing them doing wrong, and then you're putting it together and you're saying, boom, this is what it is, people, the light bulb generally goes off because I talk about things repetitionally. And I understand how the brain remembers things. Absolutely mind control. Because I'm actually trying to help you reprogram your mind. That's why I have a channel and I have a lot of different color, what do you call that? The fonts. A lot of different color fonts because that attracts the eyes. Most people that watch or listen to my videos have headphones on. Not all, most of them do. Man is the color of man. So I don't understand that question, but okay. But again, it's doing things that allow you to not only have it implanted. Greatest now at yahoo.com. There you go. But yeah, because a lot of times what they're using is implied consent. Because again, they're programmed. Because one thing I hate people say, they're programmed to believe police officers have the right to do something when they don't. They're programmed to believe that things that police officers do are okay because they don't know the procedures. Because they've been seeing it reinforced through every television show, every news story, all these other things from people that know just as much about law as you do. And then when you hear people challenge the police on law, the first thing they do is, oh, you're a problem. And then they have catchphrases for that as well. That's why the programming goes to not know law, because you think the police know it when they're not following it. They're generating revenue. They're not taught to be actual human beings. They're not taught to know what this, they're not law enforcement anymore. That's what you were supposed to send me. That's what we were talking about last time, Al. Okay. And absolutely, I appreciate you again, House. Absolutely, BX Press. The program is to comply and castrate the man. Because again, just like I told the cop, I'm too big for whatever you say not to be true. I know this. Why? Because I've had enough guns to the back of my head for traffic violations to know that everybody, because of my size, is scared of me. That's why I love being where I'm at, because none of these motherfuckers are afraid of me. Little kids ain't even afraid of me out here, and I love that. I love being somewhere where people are generally happy to see me. And I am actually happy to be somewhere where the police don't get anxious just because I step out of car. I walk out of club. I even walk up to them. Like, they're not aggressive. And it's like, for me, I actually told a cop one time, dude, calm down, because we're both going home tonight. While I was being arrested, I was more calm than the cop was. Okay. Okay. I remember a time too. You know what, Susan? Death by 1,000 paper cuts is not a bad idea. Cause I actually, one of the things I actually learned, cause like, bullshit you not, one of the things I learned, even learning procedurally, I learned through watching Law and Order, because there was a time when Law and Order, actually Law and Order SVU, where they actually talked about law. And here is the crazier part. The crazier part is the fact that there's a guy, Andrew Browder, plays a civil rights attorney, Bayard Ellis. He was in like 10 episodes. I have all of them. I constantly go back and look at them, because every time I go back and look at them, I learn something new. And one of the things you have to do is, just because you've learned something does not mean you don't have to go back and get it reinforced, because every time you look at it, you learn something new. And the second you stop learning, that's when you're in trouble. You need to move on to something else. And then go back to it later, because then it'll reinforce and it'll start adding things together, which is why I use OneNote. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The original Law and Order was absolutely monstrous, because it was one of those, because just like I've learned most of these law shows, the first season is the best season to watch. Law and Order, the original, is the best one to watch up until like 95 or some shit like that. Up to season 10 or 11. Because after that, they're not dealing with law. But the one thing they did show you was each actual crime took place in different types of courtrooms, because it told you where those crimes were supposed to be at. They talked about laws that were enforced and decisions that were enforced in those courtrooms. Those were the things that I appreciated. Yeah, a lot of this is propaganda, is understanding what it is that you're trying to do. Absolutely. You know what? I'm not going to read that whole statement that you just put up, House, but that is Warren Buffett's book. One of the books that Warren Buffett actually talked about being one of his favorite books. I read it years ago, and it was Everything I Need to Know in Life I Learned in Kindergarten. And one thing that people talked about in kindergarten was keep your hands to yourself. Even Drake told them the hardest thing about business is minding your own. If you go out and you do what you're supposed to do, you understand the prayer of serenity, you control what you can control, and stop worrying about everybody else, and stop trying to manipulate the situations of everything that you're doing, life would be great. Because it's only you that you have to worry about. It's only things that are around you. You allow everybody else to do whatever the hell it is they do. Just like when I was explaining to him with cops. Don't kill them breathing. Because you can't control their ignorance. You can't control their actions. However, you can control yourself being calm. You can control yourself knowing that you're finna get that ass in court. You can't control how the court goes, because you are the instructor of the court. But you have to understand the procedures first. You have to execute those procedures that you do understand. Then you tap those pockets. Those are the things that you have to do. And as Mama Paul said, and in that order. You have to understand how these things are going. And I also talk about being a monster. But the thing is not allowing yourself to become a monster. Because when I talk about the nature of the beast, I mean exactly that. The nature of the beast never changes. And in the aspects of doing that, it's going through the fire, understanding the fire is not for you, understanding the things that come along with that fire is not going under and trying to manipulate anybody else, but it's being focused on your purpose. Because like I said, a fool with a purpose is the most dangerous thing ever, especially a fool with knowledge. A fool with knowledge and a purpose is dangerous. You should file your motions well before your arraignment. No, you do them before. Because what you're talking about doing, if you do them at the arraignment and it's not added with a continuance, it's called ambush, and the judge has the right to ignore them. Hold on. Nothing. Call me in an hour. All right. But yes, for those that aren't calling me. And I think I know who that is. But anyway, one of the things that you have to understand is when and where to file these motions, how to file the motions. And can you explain that a little bit more, please? Yes, absolutely. What happens if you file certain motions on a certain day and they're not done procedurally correct, the judge has the option to ignore them. And by having that option, you don't have recourse because it falls under the Harmless Error Act. And the one thing that I constantly talk about is them taking things or purpose to cover their own ass. You're not offering them an opportunity to cover their own ass. You're just showing up and it's doing. That's why the accusers can't have surprise witnesses. That's why they can't have anything that are done. So in context, what you're doing, even as a defendant, you're offering a surprise, which is why they recommend 10 days prior. But it also falls under the competency of understanding procedures. Procedurally, you cannot do it less than 3 days. And for the most part, if you have a discovery motion or you do your entry of appearance and they haven't offered you something in 10 days, you haven't given them an opportunity to even comply with the appearance of a fair court or a fair trial. So again, you're taking things from them that you're not allowing because you will not be able, they're not allowed to do that to you. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. They can't do it, so you can't do it. That's procedurally done. Just like, hell, you can't do that in real life. You can't surprise anybody like that. 2 standards of timely fashion. We have 30 days. Governments have up to 80 days. And actually, what are we talking about, House, when you're talking about 2 standards of timely fashion? Okay. Okay, what are you trying to get? Because again, I did an entire video on the Freedom of Information Act. And the Freedom of Information Act is 10 days, 10 business days, not including weekends or holidays. And then you have, if they can ask for more time after the 10 days. After those 10 days, because again, they have to follow federal law. If they're not following federal law, you have recourse. You can file injunctions. Those are things that I spoke about. So that's why I'm kind of confused where you're talking about the time, because that might be a misconception of something that you have been programmed to believe. Some places you get picked up and go straight to arraignment in the morning. You have no time to file anything. It's pay up bond or locked up. Absolutely. Now, because California's like that, certain areas, matter of fact, here is like that. El Paso, Texas is like that. Now, here's the great part. That bond becomes extortion money. That bond itself becomes evidence of extortion. It's understanding what it is, because you know they can't do that. But the why is now you have case law that backs that up. Where do you hold them accountable at? Because even state court tell you, oh, we don't do that. We don't do that law, that Supreme Court stuff here. Cool. Remove it to federal court, because guess who does that Supreme Court stuff? Federal court. You don't talk to children about other children. You talk to the parents. Yeah, no big deal. Because again, we're all here to learn. That's what the whole purpose of this is. That's what the questions are. Because like I said, I actually went down to Augusta, and I was sitting in the hospital, and every Sunday they have this attorney show. You call in, ask the attorney a bunch of questions. And what I loved about it was he gave real answers. He didn't give complete answers, but he gave real answers. And those are the things that allow you to be better, because they're not bullshitting you. But that's what I want here. We have a lot of context. And just for Catherine, the reason why it sounds like I'm more well-versed in traffic situations is because traffic is the most common place people interact with police officers. There are very few actual real crimes where these people want to contact me, because they're actually contacting folks that do this for a living, and not the folks that have. It's like I told people, the way the Affordable Care Act was written originally, it helped everybody. The way the Affordable Care Act came out, it missed the people it was supposed to help. You had a gap from $0 to $19,000. Well, $120 to $19,000. Who in the hell are you helping? Because if you make $19,000 a year, guess what? You can afford insurance. That's the problem with the Affordable Care Act. Because and we also know that the great portion of America does not make $19,000. You got almost 80% of Americans that live in poverty and make less than $19,000 a year. And House, all of Georgia is crazy. Yeah, because at the end of the day, Georgia is it's very few things that happen in Georgia that surprise me anymore. So that's where we is. That's what it is. Because at the end of the day, you have an opportunity to do something, and then you either do it or you don't. And most of these motherfuckers don't do it the right way. So, and it's a choice. Because even in Fulton County was getting sued left and right, and these motherfuckers still went out and did dumb shit. Absolutely, Bruce. Part of that is actually on Patreon right now. Have I ever considered teaching the procedures you follow for suing police officers through DVD or seminars? Absolutely. Part of that has begun on Patreon. So if you are not a subscriber, my Patreon link is in the description and also in this chat. As well as I will be doing seminars starting in July. I'm trying to figure out those places now and set everything up. And basically, I'm trying to make sure that each one of the seminars is somewhat affordable. And absolutely, because my people are in New York, so I don't even have to get in the hotel when I go up there. I just go stay with my folks. So my brother lives there too. Okay, and that would be Discovery, Susan. And that will, but see, again, that goes in, Susan, what you're asking for is discovery. And it's a certain way you have to write that because you have to be specific even in discovery. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. House, that doesn't surprise me. Not being able to eat without, god damn. Kathleen, you should be getting lifetime payments. And the reason why, because you don't see, and the reason why you don't have attorneys putting, oh my God. Well, at the end of the day, you're going to have to start forcing their hand to move. So a lot of times what you're going to look for, Kathleen, is injunctive relief. And if nobody's going to help you, you might have to see if you can get somebody to get in contact with me and we can go deeper into your case itself. So, what am I? Local esquires are... Okay. So-called defense attorneys usually refuse to put in your counterclaims on cops while defending you. Here's the great part about that. One, you shouldn't have a counterclaim while you are in court. That's the first thing. Two, that you don't see piranha eating other piranha. They're their buddies. Are you really asking them or expecting them to do something to their buddies? And then three, I just told you, most of them don't go to trial because they don't like trial because they don't know how to win. That's why you don't see there are actually specific people that are called trial attorneys. And they'll tell you, oh, you need a trial attorney. Somebody that is, I call those people painters because they have to find an idea and make it as simple as possible to the layman to allow them to understand the picture that they're putting together against you to create the case that you're looking for. Man, this shit here gets on my nerves. All right, there we go. So, everybody that wants to have a conversation with me, the email I'm going to put one more time in the chat. Remember, the super chat is open. You can hit that super chat. Cash App, I love you guys. And Apple Pay, Venmo, PayPal, the Supreme Decisions. And all right, the reason I do that is because I love these college commercials. I am from the Miami University. Shit like that. I love that shit. But anyway, that's why I say the Supreme Decisions. So, in closing, great is now. Oh shit. How about this? Boom. It is literally under your comment. Great is now at Yahoo. And if you if you need to, it's on one of your previous comments. I put it on there 2 days ago. Thank you, BX Press. And when I come to BX, I'm gonna need your protection because I don't want nobody calling me Georgia boy and beat me the hell down. So, you know, you might need to meet me for coffee or some shit. But anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate you. Appreciate all the donations. And thank you too, Blacklist. I'll see you guys mañana. I'll have another video. Remember, go ahead over to Patreon. It's $20. It's the start of the stuff that I'm putting up. I'm going more in depth. I'm actually teaching you how to do certain things. And like I said, I'm putting together a bunch of things for us to grow and keep going, keep growing. So that's where we're at. Love you guys. See you next week.